We're here on a permanency hearing. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Casa is with us. Ms. Stashi's with us for Casa. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the child. Mr. Taylor's with us representing the mother, Ms. Campbell, who is with us. And Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the father, Mr. Sloss, who is with us. I have Erica Flores in the waiting room.
If she could be brought in, Your Honor, that is my caseworker. And also, Your Honor, I think we're pretty close to an agreement.
Okay.
Mr. Taylor may be asking for a breakout room with Ms. Campbell.
Okay.
And we may ask for a breakout room with attorneys after that if things are working out.
All right, Mr. Taylor, you want a breakout room with your client? You're muted.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. All right. Ms. Campbell, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Taylor, your lawyer. You may be asked to join that breakout room, or it may put you in there automatically.
Hey, Bill. You're muted, sir.
I guess you and I need to talk just a little bit more.
Okay, sure. Haley, can I get in a breakout room with Bill Taylor again, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like a very brief breakout with my client again.
Okay.
Judge, I'm feeling left out. Nobody wants to talk to me this morning.
I'm noticing that. You and Mr. Ingram both. What'd you
Yeah.
do?
I think
I'm the bad one today, I guess.
No, I started with the most difficult one. Sorry, Bill.
It's okay. You go talk to them while I talk to her, and let's see if we
But
can.
I promise we won't make any agreements without you and without Harry Savannah.
Very good.
I'm
Okay.
teasing y'all.
Yeah, we'll bring Casa in too if we can reach something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone's back. Where do we stand?
I believe, I don't know the results of Ms. Gutierrez talking to the others, but
I was going to pull us all in together. Bill, do we have something to propose to everybody?
yes, what you and I discussed at last discussed would be very agreeable to her.
Okay.
You want a breakout room with all the attorneys?
Yes, Your Honor, plus Casa.
Okay.
6 hours later.
Okay, I think everybody's back and we're running late now. So where do we stand?
I believe we have an agreement, Your Honor.
Okay, Teresa must have dropped off. She's in the waiting room. Let me get her back.
Okay.
All right, Your Honor, we have an agreement.
Okay. Who wants to announce it?
I can announce it and then we'll let the parties jump in or announce their agreement. Let me.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. So all parties, including Casa, have come to an agreement that the father, Mr. Sloss, will be named permanent managing conservator of all three children. Ms. Campbell will be named as a possessory conservator of the children. Ms. Campbell will be named possessory conservator of the children, Stephanie Campbell. She will be ordered to pay child support of $150 per month, even as the kids age up. She will be ordered to pay medical support of $25 per month. She will be responsible for paying for her own drug screens and providing the results to Mr. Sloss in the following visitation step-up order. So for the visitation, step 1 is Ms. Campbell to have supervised visitation 4 hours once a month for 3 months. And upon a negative hair follicle drug screen can proceed to the next step. Step 2, then she will have 6 hours once a month for 3 months. And again, it provides the negative hair follicle drug screen. Then she can proceed to the next step. Step 3, she will have 2 days of 6 hours for 6 months. And again, supervised. And if she provides a negative hair follicle drug screen, well, she's going to be required to provide it at 3 months into that 6-month step, I guess halfway into that phase. And then at the end of the 6 months, she'll need to provide another hair follicle to go to step 4, which is the standard possession order, considering the distance that she will live from the children in East Texas.
All right.
Steps, just for clarity, steps 1 through 3 will be supervised. Visitation only, supervised by Mr. Sloss or an adult appointed by Mr. Sloss. The visitation will occur in the town or city where the children are living. And if at any point Ms. Sloss tests positive on a hair follicle drug screen, she will return to step 1 and have to go through each step again to reach standard possession again.
All right. Anything else?
And I believe that concludes the agreement. Attorneys, did I leave anything out?
I'm not hearing anything. Let's just go down the list. Mr. Taylor, is this your client's agreement?
I don't recall mention of a phone contact that we had agreed to.
I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor, there is also mom also gets at least 1 weekly phone call with the children.
Okay.
And that can be by phone or virtual.
Okay. All right. With that addition, Mr. Taylor, is this your client's agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Kincaid, is this your client's agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ingram, are you in agreement?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. And Ms. Stassi, is CASA in agreement?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right, then. I will approve that agreement. I will name Dustin Sloth, permanent managing conservator of all 3 children. I'll name Stephanie Campbell as a permanent possessory conservator of all 3 children. I'll set Ms. Campbell's child support at $150 per month and medical reimbursement at $25 per month. When did y'all agree that those will begin?
Your Honor, I assume July 1st. I don't know if anybody has an objection to that.
We didn't get specific, but yes, I think that my client's agreeable with that.
Okay. All right. Then both Ms. Campbell's child support and medical support will be due and payable beginning on July 1, 2024, and be due and payable on the same day of each month thereafter until further court order. I will approve and order the announcement of Ms. Campbell paying for her own drug test to be provided to Mr. Sloss. And I couldn't keep up, but I'm going to approve the stepped up visitation schedule as announced by Ms. Gutierrez and as will be contained in the order, which I assume everyone will sign off on. So also the weekly phone visit for Ms. Campbell is announced by Mr. Taylor. Okay. Then since we have a final resolution in this case, there'll be no further hearings set. The department and all other court-appointed relationships will be dismissed after all appellate and de novo periods have expired. Mr. Taylor, Ms. Kincaid, if you would go over with your client their appellate rights and their de novo rights.
Absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate y'all working that out. We'll stand in recess. I'll be back here in just a minute or two to call another. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the child. Mr. Jackson's with us representing the mother, Ms. Ortiz, and Ms. Grant is with us representing the alleged father, Mr. Garcia Sr. I don't have either parent in the waiting room. Were y'all expecting your clients?
Your Honor, I've reached out to my client. We've not had a response.
Okay.
Your Honor, I am not expecting my client. He has lost communication and I have no working phone numbers.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I do have Stephanie Corbett in the waiting room. All right. And for the record, I have read the report, so we don't need to go over everything that was contained in the permanency report. I have read it, so we can just talk about any changes or any modifications, anything that's happened since that report was filed. So, all right, Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Stephanie Corbett as its witness and was the presumed father, Alejandro Guadalupe Garcia, recently ruled out by genetic testing?
Yes, ma'am.
And has he since been dismissed from the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can we get an update on how the child has been doing since the filing of your court report?
He's doing really well. He's not quite walking. He is crawling. He's crawling all over the place. He's teething. He's got a head full of hair. He's just thriving and just so cute.
Okay, that's fantastic. And is placement taking care of all of his needs?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in regards to the parent, is either parent visiting the child?
No.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice that visitation was stopped in the March 18th, 2024 permanency review hearing for it to be restarted based on negative drug screens.
All right, so noted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Corbett, has either parent complied with drug screening?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And are there any, or rather, what is the update on Brandy Ortiz's progress?
I have not seen nor talked to her since February.
And regarding Mr. Alejandro Garcia Sr., what is the update on his progress with services?
I have not seen nor located or talked to him since November of last year.
So to your knowledge, no services have been initiated or completed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It looks like the parents were ordered to drug screen on March 18th of 2024. Did they complete those drug screens?
No, I was not able to find or locate either one to even tell them to go.
And with the court ordered drug screen that isn't complete, does the department consider those positive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does the department's concern, let me rephrase. Does the department have continuing concerns of methamphetamine use by both Mr. Garcia and by Ms. Ortiz? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Would it be contrary to the child's welfare to be returned to either parent today?
That's correct.
And would it present a danger to the child's physical health or well-being to be returned to the parents?
Yes.
Here. Are we asking the court to set a final hearing prior to the dismissal date?
Yes, ma'am.
Pass the witness.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, did you say that Mr. Alejandro Garcia Sr. was ruled out by paternity testing?
No, Your Honor. Alejandro Guadalupe Garcia was ruled out.
Oh, okay. We had two. I see that now. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Jackson,
No questions.
Ms. Grant.
No questions.
All right, Mr. Ingram.
No questions.
All right. Anything further from the department, Ms. Gutierrez?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Corbett, I know you've had no contact with them, but are you asking that I again order drug tests today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jackson, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Grant?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ingram, anything to add?
Child's doing very well in placement. Just continue the department is TMC and set final.
Okay. All right, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue the child's current placement. I'll order both parents to both Hairstrand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today at Care Express in Amarillo. And I've got a date set for the final of September 9th, 2024. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance to see exactly what time that hearing would take place.
And Your Honor, may we have a different date for the final hearing? We just circulated emails confirming that the Chitwood jury trial would be set that week.
Oh, okay. Okay, then Haley, let's pick something else that won't be the week of the jury trial for Chitwood.
Let's do August 26th.
25th?
6th, sorry, 6th.
Okay, then I will move that final to August 26th, 2024. Again, it will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online document to see what time it will take place. Gutierrez, I had Ms. Wiggins. Is it your case?
Yes, Your Honor, I took this one over.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the children. Mr. Barfield is with us representing the father. Mr. Williams, who is with us, And Miss Grant is with us representing the mother, Miss Felder, who is not with us, and she is not in the waiting room. I have Brandy Pate, Alexis Venezuela, and Tyler Felty.
Think,
I think that your list,
Your Honor,
both
I
of,
think we've got an agreement. I think that's
Okay.
why I'm stuttering. I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
think we've got an agreement. I just need to touch Brooks. I don't think that we talked about child support when we were trying to come to an agreement in mediation.
I had talked to the mediator about just minimum wage levels.
Ms. Grant, is that going to be okay in the agreement?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, Teresa, in request for child support, we would request, if Mr. Barfield agrees, that if Mr. Williams requests a drug screen and it's all negative, that the requester pays, and if it's positive, the submitter pays.
I don't have a problem with that. That's the typical agreement we usually reach.
Okay, that'd be great. And then child support by minimum wage is agreeable, Ms. Gutierrez, for us.
Okay, Stacy, can you repeat who the payment for the drug screens again for me so I can type it out?
Yes, if Mr. Williams requests a drug screen prior to visitation, if it is positive, Ms. Felder will pay. And if it is negative, Mr. Williams will pay for the cost of the testing.
And for clarification, does that mean Ms. Felder pays the initial cost, and if it's negative, then
It's a reimbursement.
pays her back? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Barfield.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I need to check in with Harry very briefly. Harry, we made pretty much the same proposal we made during mediation. Do you have your notes and details on that? Or would you like for me to make the announcement and then you can indicate if there's anything you want to change?
Did you just meet me? Have you ever seen me take notes and detail on anything? But I do remember what we talked about and I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, we have an agreement to announce then.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. We've come to an agreement that Montre Williams, the father of the children, will be named as their permanent managing conservator. That Ms. Felder will be named, Tanika Felder will be named as permanent possessory conservator. Ms. Felder will have no visitation until she provides both a negative urinalysis and negative hair follicle drug screen at her own expense. And Brooks and Stacy, those initial ones, are those going to be paid back by Mr. Williams?
No, she'll have to pay for those until she provides an initial negative, would be my understanding.
That was my understanding of our initial mediation type stuff.
Okay, so that that first UA and hair follicle will be at her own expense without reimbursement.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, and up to and until she provides a negative, so there could be more than one if it's positive, if that makes sense.
It does.
It does.
Okay, so once she provides the negative UA and hair follicle, then she will have supervised visitation with the children 1 hour per week to be supervised by Mr. Montre Williams or an adult appointed by him. Mr. Williams can request hair follicle drug screens from Ms. Felder at a minimum of 3-month intervals, which means no sooner than 3 months between. If they are positive, then Ms. Felder will not be reimbursed for that. But if they are negative, then she would be reimbursed for it, and she will carry the initial expense of it. For child support, we request child support at minimum wage levels, as well as the step down provision when one of the children ages out. We request cash medical support of $25. Brooks, is it correct that Mr. Williams will carry the children on Medicaid?
That is my understanding, that he'll take care of the insurance.
Okay. There will be a no contact provision between mothers boyfriend Isaiah Carbajal with the children.
And Teresa, I don't think you said it's $25 per child according to my notes.
Okay.
That'd be 50 total, yes.
Okay, thank you guys.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
And that concludes the agreement on our end.
All right. All right, Ms. Grant, you've heard the agreement as announced. Is that your client's agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Barfield, is this your client's agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ingram, you've heard the announcement, and are you in agreement with it also?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. All right, then I will approve that agreement. I will name Mr. Williams as permanent managing conservator. I'll name Ms. Felder as permanent possessory conservator. I'll order that Ms. Felder I may not get this all correct, but everything will be as announced by Ms. Gutierrez. But I will order that Ms. Felder have no visitation until she provides a negative hearing UA drug screen at her own expense, not to be reimbursed. Once she's provided those negative tests, then she will begin supervised visits at 1 hour per week, supervised by either Mr. Williams or someone he designates. And then I will approve what was announced. I couldn't get it all down, but I will approve the agreement that after that, Mr. Williams can request drug screens that initially will be paid for by Ms. Felder. If those drug screens are negative for her, then Mr. Williams will reimburse her. If they're positive, she bears the expense for those drug screens. I will set Ms. Felder's child support based on minimum wage with a step-down provision when each child turns 18. I will order that she provide medical reimbursement at $25 per month per child for a total of $50 to begin with. Did y'all agree on a date for both the child support and medical support to start?
No,
We
Your
didn't
Honor.
discuss, Your Honor, but I would assume July 1st unless anyone has another day.
Okay, that's what typically is ordered. So I will order that Ms. Felder's child support and medical reimbursement will be due and payable beginning July 1st, 2024, and be due and payable on the same day of each month thereafter until further court order. I will also order there be no contact between the children and Isaiah Carbajal. Did I cover everything pretty much other than what I couldn't keep up with?
You did, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then. I've approved that agreement. We've got a final hearing, so there will be no further hearings set. I appreciate y'all working that out. So we will stand in recess. I'll be back at 12:15. Mr. Barfield hasn't joined us. A motion to participate. And I've got Mr. Byrd and Mr. Michelson. Mr. Byrd, my understanding is you've been retained by the mother, Ms. Pena.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, is she with you?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So Mr. Michelson, were you here for mother since you were court appointed?
Yes, sir. I was advised by Haley to appear today.
Okay, all right. Well, I wanted to be sure. That's how I usually do it. So, okay, well, then you are free to go, Mr. Michelson. I appreciate you being here.
Sure, thank you.
All right, we'll give Mr. Barfield a little bit. And Mr. Byrd is the father, Tyler Walker. Is he in your office also?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. We'll give him a few minutes. So far in the waiting room, I have Ismar Tirado, Brandy Pate, and Chase Farrell.
If Brandy and Ismar can be let in, please, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll wait for. I had Mr. Barfield earlier today, and he said he'd see us back at 12:15. So we'll give him and Mr. Walker some time to join us. So, all right, Mr. Barfield, I haven't called this case yet, but is your client, is he with you?
No, sir. He's incarcerated in Randall County Jail. I've spoken with him. He will not be appearing.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, then. That's everybody we need. Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are asking that this case be sent over or back to the referring court. I believe it would be Judge Anderson, since it's a C1 number.
Judge, you didn't call it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Let's before we go on the record with this. Now, what is it you want? You want to send it back to Judge Anderson?
Yes, Your Honor. We are asking for it to be sent to Judge Anderson. Mr. Bird and I spoke Friday afternoon, and he had mentioned that he had been your attorney in a previous case, and he's got a really good reputation, Your Honor. I can only assume he did a good job for you.
Yeah, he did. But we've had this come up before. Mr. Bird and he's appeared several times, and I've always said if there's anybody that even thinks anything about it, then I've always recused. So, okay, well, this is a motion to participate, so we don't have to even go forward today. We're well within, I don't know exactly when, let me see if I can see. I don't know when I signed the order, but we've got 90 days from then. So, okay, well, there's no reason for us to have a hearing today. I'll let y'all get with Judge Anderson. I'll send him a quick email that says that it's coming back, and I'll explain to him like I did when Wade's been in my court before. So, and then y'all can just get with Judge Anderson to see when you want to reset your motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all right then. Do I need to let Chase Farrell in to let him know we're not needed?
Yes, Your Honor, please let him, we can resubpoena him once we have the date.
Okay, all right. I'll let him know what's going on.
And Judge, this is Harry. I have a request, please, sir. We have made multiple attempts to contact Ms. Pena to check on the welfare of the children. None to success, left several messages, no return phone calls. So I'd ask if you would instruct her to allow us, me or Andy, to contact her to check on the welfare of the children.
Yeah, Mr. Bird, can you talk to your client about that?
Yes. And I know Harry's busy, and I know I just got on the case, but I have called him a couple times, and I will instruct her to. But if you or Andy will call me, we'll have her do whatever you need us to do, Harry.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, if you want to see him today,
I'll leave that up to Andy. She's probably the one that's going to be calling.
Okay.
Okay, then, Officer Farrell, this is Judge Graham.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you appearing. This case is going to be moved back to Judge Anderson, who was the referring court, so there will not be a hearing today. And I've been instructed that they'll be in touch with you, probably resubpoena you when they get it rescheduled. But I appreciate you showing up, and thank you for your time and thank you for your service.
Not a problem.
I'll go ahead and remove you so you can go about your afternoon's business. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Mr. Ingram is with us representing the child. The mother, Miss Sarah White, is not with us. I only have one person in the waiting room, and that is Peyton Sim.
Hey, that is my worker, Your Honor. Lauren Lucero has been appointed to represent the mom. I don't see her in the hearing, Your Honor, unless I'm overlooking her.
No, she's not in the hearing. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'll watch the waiting room for Miss Lucero.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I think Jasmine turns 18, but not until July, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay. The department calls Peyton Sim as its witness, who is her mother,
Sarah White.
And that is her only adoptive parent. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you filed a court report on June 7th of 2024. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice of that court report.
All right. So noted.
Thank you. Now, Peyton, have you prepared a service plan for the mother?
Yes.
And does it aim to mitigate the reasons for removal?
Yes.
Does it also, is it also the hope that in working services, you'll be able to reunify the family?
Yes.
Or rather that the court will?
Yes.
Okay. And in that respect, does it represent the department's reasonable effort to reunify the family?
Yes.
And in preparing this service plan, does it aim to mitigate the reasons for removal?
Yes.
Can you please identify 2 or 3 services that are unique for Ms. White?
Yes. So we have a psychosocial assessment, individual counseling, parenting classes, and compliant contact with the department.
Okay. And in preparing this service plan, were you able to prepare it with Ms. White?
I wasn't able to prepare it with Ms. White, but I was able to go over it with Ms. White.
Okay. And so she has reviewed the service plan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did she sign the service plan?
No.
And did she make any statements about why she would not sign?
Mother and mother's attorney just let me know that with the short amount of time between now and the time that Jaslyn turns 18, that she would not be willing to complete services.
Okay. Has there been any visitation between Ms. Sarah White and Jaslyn?
None scheduled, but there's been phone calls, a couple Zoom calls, and I believe that's it at this time.
And did St. Francis attempt to set up in-person visitation?
No, just because of the distance that's in between the mom and the daughter. However, mom knows that she can travel down to see daughter at any time.
Okay, so when you said there's no visitation scheduled, what did you mean?
There's none like set up on a weekly regular basis. It's just when Jaslyn prefers to call her mom or when mom can call Jaslyn.
Okay, so there is visitation occurring, but it's by phone call or virtual, and it's as decided by Jaslyn and her mom.
Yes.
Are there any concerns with those phone calls or virtual visits?
At this time, I think we'd like to move them to therapeutic. I think there's a lot of tension between Jaslyn and her mom and a lot of misunderstandings. And a lot of the time, Jaslyn does seem upset after talking to her mom. And I spoke with Jaslyn, and Jaslyn kind of thinks this might be a good idea. She doesn't want to just not talk to her mom, but she understands that she shouldn't feel the way she feels after conversations with her mom.
Okay. And when Jaslyn turns 18, the department will be treating this case as if Jaslyn was in the permanent managing conservator at 18. Is that correct?
Yes.
And by that, to clarify, she'll go into extended jurisdiction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let me interrupt real quick. Miss Lucero's just entered the waiting room. She's apparently having trouble joining. Well, we can go on. She'll keep trying to join.
Okay. Has Jaslyn indicated whether she wants to go into extended foster care?
Yes, at this time, she believes that's probably in her best interest.
Is there anything that needs to be ordered for Jaslyn at this hearing?
No, I don't think so at this hearing, no.
Okay. Are we asking the court to make the service plan an order of the court?
Yes.
And it sounds like we're asking for visitation to become therapeutic. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is Jaslyn on any psychotropic medication?
Yes.
And is that being reviewed at least every 30 days by a psychiatrist?
Yes.
Is she also in weekly therapy?
Yes.
Okay. Has Jaslyn made any statements regarding her medication?
I know that, so when I filed the court report, Jaslyn was pregnant. However, she did have an ectopic pregnancy. And she was concerned about having to get off one of her medications that she was previously on. But talking to the doctors and stuff, she could no longer be on that medication while pregnant. However, now I think she's starting to get back into the groove of things and advocate for herself more at those appointments. So she should be able to get on more prescriptions if that's what she's wanting or that's what she's needing.
Okay, I'm very sorry to hear about that. Is that Lorraine on the phone, Your Honor?
I'm guessing it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, Miss Lucero's with us now. Miss Lucero, we're Miss Sim is testifying. She's the permanency specialist for Jaslyn. So,
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I passed the witness.
all right, thank you, Miss Lucero. You may have some questions. If you have questions,
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I apologize if it's noisy. I'm outside. Yes, as far as, is there any kind of, you may have already stated this, is there any kind of communication right now between my client, Miss White, and Jaslyn? Are they visiting or talking or?
They're having phone calls, and then they were having some Zoom visits, but we're asking all visits to be moved therapeutically at this time.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for catching me up. Okay. Your Honor, that's all the questions I have.
all right, thank you, Mr. Ingram.
Has Jaslyn signed the extended care paperwork yet?
She signed the SIL application for looking for placement, and then I just sent the extended care paperwork and for signatures, and she attempted to sign it, I think, but it didn't come back right on DocuSign.
Okay, does that have to be in by her birthday?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming you will follow up with her on that paperwork to make sure it gets in place?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's witness.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, do you have any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. We do have a few requests. We do request that visitation for Jaslyn and her mother be ordered as therapeutic. We do ask that the service plans be made in order of the court. And we also ask for a finding of reasonable efforts to reunify the family on behalf of the department in facilitating visitation between the parent and child, creating the service plan for Ms. White, and communicating with Ms. White.
All right. Thank you. I will make the findings requested by the department. Ms. Lucero, did you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor. I just wanted to clarify on therapeutic visits if those are going to be virtual or in person.
I suspect it'll be whatever Jaslyn and the mother agree on, or maybe whatever the facility can provide.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have any witnesses. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Ingram, anything to add today?
I just tendered Jasmine to the court if you have any questions for her. When we talked to her last week, she still wasn't real sure about staying in extended care. I definitely think that's in her best interest, and I hope that's what she ultimately decides to do. But other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. All right, Jaslyn, is there anything you want to tell the court today?
No, sir.
You're still in the facility in Sugar Land, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what about your medications? Do you think, I've heard some testimony about it. I'm sorry, there's people behind you talking. I can barely hear. Are you able to talk to your doctor about your medications?
I don't really know. I asked if I can get back on my day pill because I know that was helping me.
Okay.
I did end up losing the baby, so I am able to take the medicine that I was taking before.
Okay.
Sarah did say that she did have medicine day and night for me. If I needed it, she would mail it to me.
Okay.
But as for right now, she only mailed the night pills.
Okay. If you talk to your doctor again and you don't think that they're listening to you, let somebody know. Let either Mr. Ingram, Miss Orr, or anybody with St. Francis, Miss Sim know. I can always order an independent evaluation from another doctor to see what will fit you best. So be sure you're plenty old enough to have a big say so in what meds you take. So just let somebody know that so I can do what I need to.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
You've still got another year of high school. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. This year I'll be a senior, but I was really wanting to graduate early.
Okay. Is there somebody you can talk to get that set up? How do you want to do it? Are you going to try to recoup some credits or get your GED? I'm sorry, I can't. Whoever's in there with you is talking so loudly, I cannot hear you. Would you ask him to please be quiet for a minute?
Yes, sir. He's saying it's hard for him to hear me. It's hard for him to hear me.
Yeah, there's other ways you could try to graduate early, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we need to talk about today?
No, sir. I just really think me and Sarah's college should be more supervised.
Yeah. I'm gonna order. That's what that therapeutic means. It'll be some type of counselor, someone that's trained to set in with y'all when you have your visits to try to make them go a lot smoother. So we're gonna do that today. So,
thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, then. I will continue the department as temporary manager and conservator, continue Jaslyn's current placement. I'll order the services for Sarah White as contained in her service plan, and I will order that all visitation between Sarah and Jaslyn will be therapeutic in nature. Hopefully we could get some in person, but if not, virtual or by phone, but it will all be therapeutic. So, all right, let's see. Do we want any type of hearing set in the future at this time, Ms. Gutierrez, or just see what happens?
Yes, Your Honor, if we could go ahead and set one about 6 months out from today. And I think it's one that Harry and I could probably handle by agreed order, but of course, if anybody wants it in person, we could do it or rather on Zoom, we can help with that.
Okay. Let's see what we're looking at. All right, so I'll set a next hearing for December 16th, 2024. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of December 16 to see when we'll actually have that hearing. Jaslyn, if something comes up and we need to take up a matter with you earlier, just let these same people know, and I can set this for a hearing anytime we need to. And
Yes, sir.
you're always welcome to attend the hearing. So anytime you want to, you just let them know so that we're sure to get you in on your hearings. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. All right. This was our last hearing for the day. So we will stand in recess. Everybody have a good rest of your week.